Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Game 2 in a best-of-3 series being played between IM.MVP. Now he's just IM.MVP because Quantic and IM have split, but he is the blue Terran here on the left side, actually the bottom left spawn of Antiga Shipyard. His opponent, once again, it's going to be oGs.MC, this red Protoss up here in the top right or the right side spawn. And this version of Antiga Shipyard is cross-spawn only, so it's effectively a two-player map. MC already knows exactly where MVP is, and vice versa, so that's going to save some time on scouting. They can actually afford even to be a little bit sneaky. If a forward pylon were to be placed here, for example, warp ends would be possible very close to MVP's base, or even over here. They could just walk right up that natural ramp. If you're not too familiar with Antiga Shipyard, then you should play more StarCraft 2 or watch more StarCraft 2. It's been in the ladder pool for a while now. Some people are already sick of it, though. Some people consider it to be the best map in StarCraft 2 if you have this cross-spawn only, because the map is so big and accessible. There's not a huge wide open middle to the map. It's, it's got its risks. There's this fog here, the smoke that you can't see units behind, and these ramps actually give the person holding the Xel'Naga Tower a little bit of a positional advantage. Gold bases can be very difficult to take because of that high ground right there. I personally think the map is pretty cool. I like the tile set. It's the Scrap Station tile set. You may remember Scrap Station from a bajillion years ago. That was actually one of my favorite maps as well, even though it did have a little bit of imbalance to it. Zerg specifically, actually, the map was totally imbalanced between the two spawn points, so it had to be removed from tournament play. It hasn't been seen in a while, so I like the tile set. I like Antiga Shipyard. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But MC is going to get the first scout in on MVP. He's going to see just a single barracks going up, supply depot in the back of the mineral line. No refinery started just yet. And MVP, we can see it, that he actually is saving up a ton of minerals, so he's going to be going that one racks fast expand. MC is going to hang out long enough to be able to see this, but MC actually did the same thing in his own side of the map here. He dropped that Nexus, and then his first gateway, you can see it's 20 seconds or so along already. So MVP, not wanting to waste too much time, even though he does have 400 minerals, is going to build the command center after chasing the probe away. But of course MC could just turn this probe around and go find out anyway. Or he could start dropping pylons all over the place. We'll have to see what his mission is going to be this time around, what his build order is going to be. Looks like that one gate expand, actually fast expand into one gate, then only one assimilator. So like I mentioned in the first game, further tech beyond Cybernex Core not going to be too likely. He'll probably slam out a few gateways and maybe something clever like a Twilight Council, but Robotics Facility probably the most probable choice, with a Twilight Council or a Stargate build being a little bit less probable. Second gateway coming up now for MC. No units built really for either player just yet. Looks like maybe two Marines. Yes, two Marines here at the natural for MVP will defend if any sneaky probe tries to get its face up there again. That is kind of a giveaway, though, when you're walking up your natural ramp and there's heavy guard there, if you can't get your probe in there to see it. Oh, MVP actually building a third command center already. This will be his third one of the game. Most likely going to be taking this third base over here. This destructible debris is kind of prone, but you can build bunkers and supply depots and things like that just to keep an eye on it. This natural is pretty wide open as well. It's very hard to defend both your main and your third base if your opponent does have any air or warp prisms or blink stalkers even. Can be difficult to overextend like this so early in the game. Last game we saw MVP didn't even build a command center until like 12 minutes in. This time he's not going to make that same mistake. He's going to go heavy macro mode. This map may be a little bit better to do that on. He might even actually eventually end up at this gold with a planetary fortress, and that can be very difficult to stop for anyone, not just a Protoss player. So Marines scouting all over the place looking for hidden pylons. They didn't know for sure if that probe went home earlier or if he just started dropping pylons. Here come gateways 3 and 4. This makes me curious if he's going to go for 5 and 6 as well. You can easily do that off of 2 bases, but you have to be a little more aggressive than we see MC being right now. So 6 gates, not as likely. Otherwise we would have seen pylons up here already and probably honestly a few more units. He wouldn't have gone this Nexus first, so it looks like he's planning for a little bit of a later game. Still surprised not to see any additional tech. Robotics Facility or Twilight Council will both be great choices here. I tend to not agree with fast Stargate play on this map just because of Marines and the accessibility of Vikings that Terran players have. Looks like MC did just test the front there, but of course didn't lose any units, just a little bit off of his Stalker's shield, and he is dropping a forward pylon now. So we see a Robotics Facility up in the production tab, not 2 more gateways. Warp Gate Tech is going to finish now though, so he can start warpins of 4 units at a time. He's already got 3 down here, but MVP actually has a pretty stout defense here at the top of his natural. He might even build a 3rd bunker. Now he's just going to repair it up a little bit from that cosmetic damage that the Stalkers caused a moment ago. So 5 Zealots and 2 Stalkers, not likely to do much damage here against a fully repaired bunker and repairing SCV, so it looks like 1 Zealot does get hurt a little bit, but he is going to manage to get out of there with everything still intact. Robotics Facility going to be done soon. MVP, on the other hand, building more bunkers off to the sides of this original one. More Marines and Marauders, of course, out of these 3 barracks. His 3rd orbital command is done. He's going to take some time to build SCVs out of it before floating it over to that 3rd. He doesn't know what's over there. MC has been testing his front a little bit, so it would be a little bit risky to try and go over there so soon. This sentry here has 1 force field available, and he's not using it. He does not have enough energy for a Guardian shield, so a couple of Zealots do get melted there. I'm not sure if that was the best exchange for MC, but it does let MVP know that he's still hanging around, and maybe expanding would not be such a great idea. Factory going up now for MVP. A bit of a slow factory, but that's what happens when you double expand. 4 gateways still for MC. His Robotics Facility tucked up inside his natural. Double forge coming along now. That'll certainly help with upgrades. It looks like he's only getting an observer so far out of the Robotics Facility. No Immortals just yet. If you get this double forge, sometimes you will see Immortal first out of the Robotics Facility just because they do so much damage against Marauders and Marines in this early game before your Terran opponent actually has a lot of additional tech like siege tanks or Hellions or what have you, if they do decide to go mech. MMM seems to be MVP's build of choice here though. He's got his engineering bay already starting some upgrades. He's got this factory which is most likely just going to add on a reactor. Yep, there's the reactor. He is starting a starport here that will most likely switch places with that factory on the reactor. Looks like MVP is sending another scout. He's most likely going to get destroyed before he can see too much. While MC has this observer just hanging out here, checking out everything. Wow, the SCV actually does manage to make it all the way up the ramp just to be shot in the face by some Stalkers. Gateways 5 and 6 are now up. MC has not tried to take a 3rd base just yet. He may want to start thinking about it. We'll see if he spots this orbital command. Actually, yes, he definitely should spot this orbital command floating over to the 3rd, so now it's up to MC whether he wants to try and expand now as well just to keep up. So looks like he's actually not spending any money right now, so there's the probe headed to the 3rd, so he is going to try to keep up. Drop that pylon first just so warp-ins will be possible if some Marines try to sneak up there, and that Nexus that we expect to see. So both players going to be on 3 bases here soon. MVP dropping his first round of mules already. That's the lovely thing about mules. You can just spam them if your orbital command has too much energy on it, or if your 3 orbital commands happen to have too much energy on them. And 2 observers here for MC now. He does have Blink on the way, and of course that Twilight Council is going to help him get +2/+2 upgrades as well. Eventually, after +1/+1 finishes, he will actually be going for a bit of a timing attack. It looks like +1/+1 and Blink, starting to make some Immortals now. He doesn't have too high of a Stalker count, honestly. It's not massive. MVP just massing this MMM. He's already got Stim. He should have concussive shells. Yes, he does. And combat shields all finished. And that +1 weapons upgrade. So looks like MC is going to take a chance here with some Blink Stalker action. Right as MVP comes over to try and build some supply depots, this reactor is going to get taken out very quickly. But only after these 2 medevacs both pop out anyway. So that's only going to stall MVP for a brief time. MC needs to pay attention to these Stalkers. Don't want to lose any of these for such a good pickup. He got in, killed a reactor, and now it looks like he is going to pay with 2 Stalkers. No, 4 Stalkers total go down. Not an equitable trade. And he tried to test the front over here of MVP and saw that MVP had plenty of forces to be able to repel this. MVP has to be feeling good now after losing just a reactor and picking up a lot of unit kills. Ooh, this is good for MC though. MVP is trying to get away. He does load up a couple of medevacs. Will MC snag that medevac? No, only 10 HP left on it, so all 8 units inside do survive. MC did actually fight back a little bit there though and regained his supply lead, so good job MC. salvaging what could have been just a bad situation. He does have a similar harvester count despite his third base getting started a little bit later. He should probably tag on these assimilators now and maybe even move toward a robotics facility, or not a robotics facility, robotics bay, to start getting some colossi out, but we'll see what he's got in mind. It looks like the stalkers are rallying off to the left side and all the zealots and sentries trying to take down this destructible debris. MVP of course sees this with the SCV building a supply depot right now. That observer is still hanging around inside the main, but as are a lot of marauders and medevacs, so the stalkers are just going to rejoin with the zealot sentry army here and not try to blink in just yet. He is actually posturing like he wants to do that, but MVP has so many bio units, and with stim he's able to get over there so quickly to be able to defend his main. Nothing terrible has actually happened to MVP just yet. The most that he's lost this game is some Marines and a reactor. Now his back door to the third base is wide open, and MC did drop another pylon over here, so this is a lot of zealots with charge. Sitting at 1-1, soon to be at 2-2. MC's not going to wait around too long. He's actually going to pick up a free supply depot kill if he can get out of there. It looks like he will trade one stalker. Ooh, instead of blinking behind the zealots and sentries, he is going to drop some force fields and just let them run up forward there. Another stalker goes down, another zealot goes down. This one's as surely dead as the others, and MC falling behind in supply a little bit. Oh, actually, excuse me, another big round of warpins. Wow, 10 more charge lots coming into the battle now. Looks like this is kind of a strange area to try and engage from. Ooh, MC, if he's just a little bit quicker, he may have been able to section off a lot of Marines over on this bottom side of the fight, but now as it is, these charge lots don't have a way in, and MVP is sitting comfortably at his bunkers, taking out a few zealots, and the force fields actually work against the zealots there, and he loses quite a lot of them. MC, a little bit of a blunder there. He does still have this pylon standing, though, so warpins may be possible, as MC is going to start to run through the middle of the map, chasing anything he can snag with a concussive shell and killing it off. It's going to slow them far too much. Wow, that sentry actually, no, did not escape. I was going to say actually managed to escape, but I was wrong. Chargelet's charging right back in there. It looks like some High Templars came in earlier to form some Archons, and we see a Psionic Storm in the production tab, but right now not enough force fields from MC to be able to stop this giant force. Oh, a Ghost mixed in there too. Actually hits a big EMP. You can see the shields missing from a lot of these units. Didn't quite hit the Immortal, but it doesn't matter. Concussive shells and this big existing ball of MMM are able to take that out. Still got some blink action going on here, and these guys are so low health. The medevacs are not healing them up rapidly enough, and MC is actually going to score a lot of kills here. He may actually be able to clean up everything here. Blink forward, takes out that medevac. MVP does have a lot more bio units waiting though, and MC is going to retreat, but at the same time he did warp in 4 zealots here down at the third base of MVP. He's going to score a lot of SCV kills. I saw 4 or 5 there before they managed to get away, and it looks like they may score even more. There's only 3 Marines and a Marauder coming to respond to this. 2 more Marines coming in now, but these Zealots with a handful of kills each, doing quite a good job there with harassment. That's going to get the supply just a little bit closer as well, and perhaps even the economy. They're leaving the Zealot alone. What happened? MVP did go back to take out that warp-in pylon. So harvester count far favoring MC now, 74 to 54, but of course MVP can build 3 at a time out of these 3 orbital commands. Just one observer hanging out here for MC still. MC will need to work on his spending. He needs to be very efficient here and very careful with any force fields that he happens to drop. The Zealots have had a big problem so far in this game getting around those force fields. It looks like MC has basically just given up on building any more sentries. 3-3 upgrades started now for MVP, but the 3-3 is just about to finish actually for MC. That double forage earlier in the game is paying dividends now. He will be the first one done with his upgrades. MVP just falling a little bit behind, but he does have his 3-2 upgrades finished now. Oh, big drop actually. Not a big drop. 4 Marauders coming in, taking out, it looks like just a pylon there inside the main of MC, but he did respond pretty quickly there, and not too much was lost. It looks like he wanted to try and take out this warp gate, but was just sort of testing the forces of MC, drawing his attention away from his main. Now comes the big drop. 6 medevacs full of units. MC just now finishing a warp in of a couple of Zealots. I'm not sure how much this is going to be able to accomplish. MVP may need to actually escape here, as charge lots and Archons are attacking that main force. Oh no, the drop force of MVP is still alive and well, and he just retreats with the force on the ground. He's going to take out 3 gateways incredibly quickly with all of these remaining units now with their +3 upgraded weapons. MC moving forward now with his Stalkers, another gateway getting exploded there and in the simulator. Looks like he wanted to try and take out the cybernetics core. He's just aiming for buildings right now. Oh, sitting in those storms, not going to help MVP at all. Looks like a feedback did go down as well, but these medevacs are going to escape with quite a few marauders still intact, and MC is now down to only 5 gateways, where earlier he had 7 or 8. Warp Prism out now for MC, but it doesn't look like he's going to... Oh, MVP actually on the move again with a ton of Marines and marauders off to the left side here. MC is just so immobile right now. He has to be able to respond to 3 bases at once, essentially, and all of these bio units have medevacs to help them. They have stim to help them get around, but right now they're going to be cornered against this destructible debris. MC will finish all of them off, but now he is at a 60 supply deficit, and of course MVP is right back at it in the main, dropping once again, taking out more gateways, more pylons. MC has essentially no production left at this point. He's rebuilding 3 more gateways at his natural expansion. MVP doesn't even care if he loses all this stuff. He just did so much damage to MC. He has no standing gateways right now at all. He's got nothing over here at his third, no nexus, and he's building 6 gateways to try and get back in this game. He does not have a harvester advantage anymore. MVP taking the lead in pretty much every single category right now, turning this command center at the gold into a planetary fortress. I mentioned that earlier. It can be really hard to siege, especially when you have no production structures left. MC gonna have to turn tail here, and there are actually a lot of ghosts. I thought I saw some ghosts earlier, but doesn't look like he has any in this mixture here for any EMPs, but looks like he also may not need it at all, so he's gonna continue marching forward. No, what is he doing? He's just stalling a little bit. Here's one ghost with enough energy for an EMP, maybe even a second EMP here shortly. So MVP just getting everything gathered up here, looking around the map with Marines, looking for additional bases that MC might have, so he knows whether this is going to be the killing blow or if perhaps he should do some economic harassment instead. If MC were to have a base over here or over here, it might be a better idea to drop that and try and just take it out than try to deal a killing blow. So MC does have a War Prism with a High Templar tucked inside. Not going to help him too much for this ensuing battle. Looks like MVP wants to send up one little contingent of Marines and Marauders to see what MC's got in store for him. He's going to back off all the way back to his main group here. That one ghost is going to need to land some pretty EMPs. Actually, MVP's up by 90 supply. It doesn't really matter how pretty the EMPs are. As long as he splashes on these Archons, it should be a pretty easy fight. One Marine's still straggling around up there trying to get MC to commit to a fight. He's going to drop again inside the main with 7 units here, and the bulk of his forces still sitting on the low ground. Medevacs have tons of energy left here. This could be very ugly, so Protoss players, you may want to look away here in the next minute or so. Another big contingent moving up for MVP. I'm not sure what that was about. He just lost so many units there for no reason. He's just trying to bait into the massive force here. There's a lot of ghosts on the field now, so EMPs will not be a problem. It's impossible to miss with this number of EMPs. All he has to do really is hit the Archons, and he'll be good to go with the amount of DPS that he has in here. Big scan, drop, take out the Observer there. EMPs landing all over these Archons as we expected, and more EMPs than are necessary. MC knows he can't win. He was on essentially one base with no production structures for too long. MVP is going to take Game 2 in this best of 3 series, which means the series is now tied 1-1, and we will have to go to Game 3 to see who is going to continue on at MLG Providence.